What's going on, y'all? I want to welcome y'all back to the Raw Report. And today, I want to talk about when the dream dies, but you didn't. And I'm just going to be honest with y'all. This is, I don't even want to call it a difficult conversation, but it's kind of hard for me to even talk about because it's something I live myself. For me, personally, it was this ball right here. It was my hoop dream. And I know a lot of us had that good old hoop dream. But, I mean, I guess my question is, what happens when you plan? I mean, you done trained, you prayed, you sacrificed, you believed, you did everything you thought you possibly can do. And you still don't get there. What's next? That's my question for y'all. What's next? Because for me, if I'm being totally honest with you, I didn't have no next. I mean, I had my hoop dream. That fizzled out early on in life. But after my hoop dream, I really didn't know. I didn't know what else to do. I mean, it's hard for me to admit that, but I'm trying to help somebody get through this. And I just want y'all to know that your identity is not tied to your dream, that first dream anyway. That's the way I look at it now. That's it's a place where you get your skills up. Because all the skills that you learn, like I said, for me, it was basketball. I could even, at some point, I'm going to tell you about my rap dreams. But we've all had dreams. My thing is when they don't come to fruition, that don't mean that your life is up. God ain't through with you yet. At the end of the day, he just getting started with you. Like, you ain't even went through nothing yet, if we being honest about it. It's almost like, to me, that first dream is just the one to get your feet wet to actually turn you into who God intended for you to be. And I'm not saying that I know, but I do. What I do know is that we was not meant to give up because we didn't make that first dream. That's a culture thing. That's culture that's in our head that's telling us we ain't good enough, or because our life is over because we didn't get the dream that we wanted, because it was so vivid in our head. We know that we should have did it, but it didn't pan out the way we wanted it to. And that's fine. Like, to me, I say it's fine. I know it hurts because for me, and don't laugh at me when I say this, but I carry my hoop dream on from my childhood till I was literally, I say God was redirecting me then and I still didn't see it. Till I was at least 27. Knowing I ain't had no chance of making it. I couldn't play in college at that age. I know the pros wasn't coming to get me. And if I'm being honest with myself, I wasn't even that good. I was decent, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't pro level. I wasn't even putting in that kind of pro level work. I know I wasn't. So if I wasn't putting in that kind of pro level work, well, what I think I was doing? Like, for real. Like, what we talking about at that point? I know I wasn't putting in no pro level work. So, but I will say, you can't heal from holding on. It's time to make a pivot. Gotta let that old dream go. And I'm not, like I said, it was a dream. It was real. You did it. But when it didn't pan out, now what? What's next? I'm so I'm just being honest with you. I'm trying to give my take on it. I I actually broke the thing down. I came up with dreams, developing resilience, excellence, authority, and mindset through serving. I'm gonna tap in. I'm basically gonna break it down the more I talk on um, on the subject because I know I can't be the only person who has not accomplished a dream. It's hard for me to talk about. I'm just sitting here I'm reminiscing to myself of, man, I thought I was nice with it. I really did. I thought I was nice with it. But for whatever reason, that wasn't the path God wanted for me. And when the dream faded away, I want to say I lost my identity. I mean, I'm still a hooper. Even now, I've coached basketball for 15 years. When I got back around again, but before, right after I stopped, and the only reason I stopped hooping, because I probably would have had that dream a little longer, was I twisted my ankle really bad, and I was in like a boot for like almost 6 months to a year, and by the time it was time to get back on the court, I was out of shape. I was smoking, drinking. I ain't even think nothing about hoop. And then I stopped watching hoop. I stopped going around hoop. It's the pain, and everybody's dream is different. Like I said, for me, mine was hoop dreams. But the pain of not getting your goal, the expectation that you want out of it, it hurts. I want to say it hurts. Like for a lot of people, like and I really don't want to say this because I don't know it, but how women act when they talk about men breaking their heart and this and that. For men, it's the same way when we don't achieve our dreams. Boy, that's when you talking about your heart being broken. Woo. And then it's hard to even come back from it. You really don't even know how to come back from it because who do you talk to? It's almost like whatever the goal was or the dream, like I said, for mine it was basketball. Somebody else could be football, whatever it is. You almost, and I can't speak for everybody, but you don't even want to go around them same people no more. You don't want to go around them old circles. It's almost like you feel like they look at you as a failure. So it makes you look at yourself as a failure. So it's like you got to start over because you spent all this time in the gym training and putting your shots up, doing whatever you were supposed to do and still didn't make it. And it almost it makes you feel less than. And I'm here to tell you today that's not the case. It's not less than. That's a building block for your next. Whatever that first dream is, especially when you kids that's hearing me. That first dream, like I said, a lot of us, especially us black men, it's basketball, it's football, it's soccer, it's baseball, whatever it is. The skills that you learned in them early sports that you put all that effort and time into, if you don't make your high school team, you don't make it to college, you don't make it to D1, you still have skills that a lot of, I don't want to say other kids, because other kids playing other sports, but you're still better prepared for life than you think you are. You learn discipline. You learned teamwork. You learned how to take a L. You learn how to win. You learn resilience. You learn so much more than you think you learn, that the pain of not accomplishing your goal, don't get me wrong, it ain't going away. But you can mourn it for a moment. But after you mourn it for a moment, don't build a mansion with it. Like, what we doing? It's time to move on. The only way you gonna move on is what's next. Pivot. Use those skills for the next thing. And then whatever the next thing is, if that don't pan all the way through, let's build on that. But we have to stop getting stuck. I was doing some research on this subject before I actually came on and talked and started to talk on it. And I seen that they say that kids, mostly men, I call them kids because they're younger than me. Men between the ages of 25 to 33 are having what they call a quarter life crisis. I'm telling you guys haven't even started living yet to be talking about a quarter life crisis. Your identity is not tied up in that dream that you didn't reach, and it seemed like everybody else is reaching their goal. It's not true. Dust yourself off and get back in the game. Do not let that thing fester for longer than it has to. It's not worth it. I'm telling you. The dream died, but you didn't. You're stronger than that. Believe it or not, you're stronger than that. You're a man at the end of the day. Once you start moving your feet and moving forward, even though you got the pain, you start to heal it. We have to get to a point where we stop letting what seems like defeat stop us in our tracks, and we stop making motion from then on. Because like when I'm on here talking to you guys, I'm talking to all young men, but it's me and my age, and I'm almost 50, who are still caught up in the dream that they didn't get, the dream that didn't happen, because they never let it go. They just mourned in it. And you got to think about it. If God closed that dream on you, you got to close it too. Like I said, mourn that thing and let it go. It is what it is. The reason why most of us are stuck is because you stayed at the gravesite too long. And I'm saying the gravesite of that dream that God closed the door on. And you sitting there crying about what was, what could have been, what should have been. At the end of the day, the statistics wasn't in our favor. You know, it's less than 5,000 people that's never played in the NBA. But a lot of our goal is to play NBA. And it's 30-some teams. The NBA been around since the 70s, maybe even the 60s. And it's only 5,000 people that's ever played a game in the NBA. I mean, it might be less than. Last numbers I checked, it was less than. And we give up our whole life because we didn't get our dream. We got to stop doing that to ourselves, y'all. Got to build that resilience. We got to start shooting for excellence, not perfection. And excellence requires you to pivot, to dust yourself off and get back in the game. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, we men, we don't like to cry, but I know inside in our private time, we suffering in silence. All I'm saying is cry. You can cry about it. Just don't camp out with that thing. Just don't. At the end of the day, you have to move forward. wow, I'm gonna give y'all another statistic when I say I was doing my research on it. 76% of people, that's a huge number, and this was globally. 76% of people associate with not accomplishing their dream, their initial dream. 76% of people associate that with losing their identity. And most 76% of the people don't know who their identity is because they didn't reach that first dream that they came up with. I want y'all to think about that. Because if 76% of people, you can lie to yourself and say you're not one of those people. But if you're feeling stuck and you're not where you want to be, 9 times out of 10, you're one of them people. And I'm not saying that I'm no better than nobody else, because I was definitely one of them people. But I had to fight, claw, kick, scream. I had to get up out of that rut, because that don't feel good. You can't move forward. You can't move backwards. You just stuck thinking about what was. Man, I used to. And I could. And these kids ain't trying to hear none of that these days. If you can't show them what you was doing, they ain't trying to hear none of that. So you might well let that go. Knowing what I know now, the thing I would tell anybody is do not sit in one or fester in one defeat, what feels like defeat. But it's not necessarily defeat. It just feels like defeat. Because what a lot of us, especially when you're young and you're kids, you don't realize that a lot of all of this stuff is politics, relationships. It's a lot of things that factor why you don't get the opportunity that you feel like you deserve. Yeah, you might be better than him. So what? You don't have a relationship. So don't do that to yourself because you didn't get what you thought you wanted. Like I said, God was using that to build you. And if God was using that to build you, who are you to say anything different? Use those skills and level up to the next level to do whatever it is you got to do. Man, I hope I'm getting through to somebody today, because like I said, this subject here, man, I'm gonna touch on it for a little while, because like I said, my thing was hoop. You know what I'm saying? That was my hoop. My first initial dream was hoop dreams, and I told you, I thought somebody was gonna come find me in the gym hooping. I played good. I'm talking about good ball till I was about 27. Think about that, y'all. For real. Like for real. Think about that. I ain't young enough to play with the kids. College, you graduated at 24. I'm still thinking somebody go be like, you good enough to come play with us. Come on, man, that ain't gonna happen. But like I said, nobody talked to us about these things. It's taboo to talk about you didn't reach your dream. Or like I said, us as men, we ain't gonna talk about it no way. We just gonna keep living with that thing and acting like, and then when them conversations come up, man, I used to, and then boy, I nobody wanna hear that. Did you get to where you was trying to go to? Probably not. So what we doing next? What we doing next? That's my question for y'all. So, like I said, baby, I'm gonna do some deep diving on this, because, like I said, it's hard for me to even discuss it. But I'm enjoying the conversation because I know some other people are out there dealing with this. If y'all want to go deeper with the conversation, come join me in the Raw Kingdom Warriors. It's a community I built. It's for us to help each other through the pain so we can start to heal, so we can start to move forward in God's word in faith and belief. One with self and for others. So, y'all already know, man. I had to jump on here and talk about that today. So, y'all already know what I'm gonna say. Stay real, stay raw, stay grounded in your faith, and walk boldly in your purpose. To the next time, y'all. I'm out.